This is total and unique players per game at EVO. And one thing that I've been talking about a lot is how much I appreciate subscribers like Rip Cardo. Thanks very much for dropping the tier 1. One thing I've been talking about a lot, besides Rip Cardo, is that going into EVO, I was saying that I think that Samurai Showdown is the best side game to enter at EVO. Lo and behold, these numbers come out, and that's exactly the case. So what's interesting about these numbers is there is 2 colors, right? The bottom color in this split chart is the unique entrance. So I believe that is people who only entered this game. They played this game. This is their game at EVO. They didn't enter anything else. And then the yellow is the shared. First things first, notice there's some big outliers, right? The unique attendees for a couple of games stand out. The biggest one, I think, is Sam Show. I wanted to point that out. Crazy. 285 of them only entered Sam Show out of 1,700. That means that 1,500 people in the bracket are people that entered other games, and Sam Show isn't their primary, like, this is the game I entered to go and compete at EVO in. I think that's really cool for Sam Show, like, because that means it's a melting pot of all these different games and people coming in and trying it out, giving it a shot. Unist is another example of that. It has a huge amount of shared attendees, and I think that's partially to do with the fact that it's another game where everybody was kind of like, this Unist game is going to be at EVO, maybe I should give it a shot. And so because of that, I think a lot of people, you know, kind of like jumped on it and gave it a shot and had a lot of fun with it. So you can see a lot of people registered for the game, obviously. The other big numbers that I think is really impressive is the Smash Ultimate number. 2,300 unique attendees. 2 out of 3 Smash players only compete in Smash. But even still, their crossover of 1,200 people is more than Unist and Dragon Ball and Soul Calibur and BlazBlue got total. There's decent crossover. Tekken is pretty split, right? It's almost 50-50 about how many people are unique to Tekken or entering other games. And yeah, the big thing about this is there's a chart after that has percentage of unique players. So obviously they said 2/3 for Smash, right? It's about 65%. And Sam Show is about 17% or so. So 1 in 5, it's close to 20%. There's a second set of stats, which is if you remove Sam Show, because it is primarily like the side game for a lot of people, you get to see the new numbers and compare it. And then what's interesting to me is the chart here, the way things change and how it looks. Street Fighter ends up at 50%, which is interesting. We saw that Tekken was right around there as well. So Street Fighter and Tekken, both of these games seem to be about 50-50, whether someone's just a Tekken or Street Fighter player, or if they're interested in other titles as well, which is cool. Most people tend to mess around with a couple of fighting games at least. A game like Sam Show having like that kind of appeal, like I'm going to enter my game and I'm going to try Sam Show too, that's actually a really useful game to have in your repertoire. And if you're Sam Show or its community, that's awesome. Because A, that means that people like your game enough to give it a shot on the side, even though they have a game that's like their main game or something. And B, that means that this community is going to be mixed full of people from all over the place. If you can stick, you know, some of those people that are the shared attendees, then you're in a great spot because you have all these people that are interested in the title, which is a really cool sign because it's not a game that's been around in modern times that much. It's been a while since they had a new competitive Samurai Showdown. That's cool to me. There could be a lot of people where Sam Show is their main game, but they also entered Unist or Smash or Tekken. So you don't want to talk in absolutes like, oh, 1,400 of these people are not primarily Sam Show players. I'm sure like, you know, 300 or 400 of them at least are probably like, yeah, Sam Show's the main game I'm focusing on at EVO, but I'm also going to try out all these side games. BB Tag is another game that I know a lot of people who are interested in BB Tag and watching it and checking it out because the game's nuts and just really fast paced and fun and watching it and stuff. More than anything else. It's one of those games. I think Dragon Ball has that appeal kind of too, where people are interested in watching it. Tekken is another game where a lot of people are like, yeah, I'm not really like a Tekken player, but I love watching it. It always trips me up when people say BB Tag as BBCT. Yeah. They say BBCTB a lot of the times. And I'm like, BB Chrono Tasium Shift Biff? I'm like trying to figure out which BlazBlue it is, you know? Who the fuck names these things? Under Night, In Birth, EX, Can I Get a Latte to Go, Light Ice, Extra Shot, like what the fuck? Fexel? Do you think there were more spectators in 2016 than 2018 in terms of attendees that are spectators or viewership? It's hard to say because the boom for Street Fighter in 2016 was so absurd. Live spectators that didn't reg. I feel like that number has probably gone up. So my guess is 2016 was higher than 2017. But maybe 2018 and 2019 will be back to those kind of numbers or greater. The Sunday lineup was announced in January. I think the EVO staff bet on BlazBlue because the numbers were great last year. And also, I assume that there's an announcement for the game. I assume that every game on Sunday has an announcement besides potentially Smash Ultimate, which is just huge. And if you're EVO and the arena is your family experience in the Mandalay Bay, you probably don't want a game like Mortal Kombat where people being ripped in half. You probably don't want Dragon Ball, which is a pretty long top 8 and can maybe push stuff back. Soul Calibur probably wasn't going to have the entries to justify it. I think the only other game you put on Sunday is maybe Eunice, but you don't know how that's going to go. Do I know about the Melee side tournament entry numbers? I saw like a week ago that the side tournament for Melee had 30 attendees. I should enter that shit and get top 32 at EVO and put that shit on the PGR. Be like, yo, bro, got top 32 at EVO for Melee. Come on, bruh. Why am I not in the top 100?